Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Be Lucky Weekend podcast with me, your host, Daryl Carter. I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying the build-up to the Cheltenham Festival, which is next week. Jesus Christ, I'm excited. But we've got some action to get stuck into at Sandown on Saturday beforehand. Hopefully build those pots for Cheltenham. And there's a couple of races I want to look at for you on this weekend Be Lucky podcast. We are just going to focus on two races at Sandown this week. There's not a lot of betting action, so I do want to keep a lot of it back for the members, as you can understand. If you want to become a member of Daryl Carter Racing, just head to the Patreon page, www.patreon.com/Daryl Carter Racing, and come and join a brilliant community of people. It's not just about the tips, it's about the access to the DC network. It's about the people that you meet, the community that we're building. It's lots of content on there, lots of betting help, betting advice. There's loads of different things on there. So it's not just all about the tips, but the tips are why we're there to make money, right? And we are making money. Now, Saturday, normally this is a time where a lot of tipsters will go to, just keep calm because Cheltenham's next week. Well, value is where value lies. And the first race we're going to take a look at is we're going to take a look at that EBF Final. Always a really good race for novices, novice hurdlers over 2 miles 4. And we have a couple of significant non-runners from the anti-post markets, one of those being Charisma for Nicky Henderson, who's not in this race now. The favourite, sorry, not the Charisma, that's the Imperial Cup. I'm talking about the horse of Nigel Twisting Davies' Masked Man, who is not in this race now. So we have Scorpio Rising heading the market for Ollie Murphy, a good winner of a handicap hurdle at Windsor. Beating Top Jimmy in Lisbon Park was a really good performance that day. That form has been franked a couple of times, so it does look like it's pretty solid form. Harry Skelton's got one in here called Unknown Entity. This horse was formerly with Willie Mullins. I'm not sure that this horse is going to be the improver that the market expects it to be, and I don't think he's run anywhere near his mark of 120. Now, maybe they have been hiding him a little bit, but it didn't look like that the case at Wincanton last time. It didn't look like the case at Ludlow the time before, so I'm a little bit sceptical of this horse, and I'm very surprised that he is such a short price in this market. There was two that interest me in this race. Number one pretty much being Kaka's Cousin for John Joe O'Neill, who does do well with his runners here at Sandown, or at least that's the way it feels. I haven't looked into the stats at the moment, but it feels that way. While Unknown Entity was absolutely slammed in a bumper by 12 lengths over by Cocktail Brewery, Kaka's Cousin went and beat him by 8 lengths at Kelso last time on heavy ground. Now, you could argue that Cocktail Bluer did not enjoy the ground that day, but I would also argue that Kaka's Cousin was over a trip far too short for him. He's going to be best over this 2.5 mile trip and further. His point-to-point form's got some real substance to it as well. If you go back and have a look, he had Generous Risk, who's now with Gordon Elliott, 15 lengths behind him that day. The winner, Clay Pigeons, went out and won a bumper at Cork for point-to-pointers and is now with Willie Mullins. I do think there's some serious substance to that point-to-point form. I liked what he did at Catterick in his maiden. I liked what he did at Wetherby, to be honest. I thought Kevin Brogan was very easy on him behind Starmount, allowed Starmount to sort of run away with the race, really, and just was pretty easy on him. But at Kelso last time, he really put it all together. I think he's going to be ridden very handily. I think that suits at Sandown. And I think Kaka's Cousin's got a lot more to offer off a mark of 126. And he will relish this step up and trip and stiff finish. It could be very hard to pass, to be honest. The other one I want to take a chance with is Four Springs for Ben Jones, Ben Paulin. Second run after a wind up. Cheek Peters go on first time for his handicap debut. Ran behind Sinatra at Warwick last time in a qualifier for this. Was given a very easy time behind Sinatra. Now, Sinatra won very, very comfortably, but there was no real intention to go at the winner. Sinatra is obviously a hot property for the county hurdle next week at Cheltenham. But I do believe that there's more to come from this horse. He was a winner of his point-to-point by 22 lengths. Not much substance to that. I thought he did well at market racing, but I thought he was outpaced. I thought Bo Morgan got a little bit unorganised at a crucial time there. So I don't think we've seen the best of him, and I think stepping up and trip is really going to suit him. So two horses there at 9-1, 10-1, I think are going to go very well in this. I went through this and I didn't really think there was anything at bigger prices that I thought was going to jump out and sort of become a star all of a sudden, to be honest. So I thought those two would go very well. Kaka's cousin, I think, will make the run. I don't think Four Springs will be too far away from the pace either. Hopefully, we're there or thereabouts at the final hurdle. Hopefully, they can do the business. Kaka's cousin will stay and stay all day. It does take some getting this Sandown track. I know they're talking about watering and good ground and this, that, and the other at Cheltenham, but it's never, ever, ever an easy place to get home, Sandown, regardless whether it's good to soft. It's just very tough. It's a tough track. So that's the 150 covered. We move on to the 227, which is the big race of the day. It's the Betfair Imperial Cup. This is where Charisma was favourite and has not been declared this morning. So possibly going to go to Cheltenham, possibly not going to go anywhere at all. We'll see what happens with that horse. But the market is headed by Mondo Man for Gary and Josh Moore at 4-1. Reckless Eric, Cheap Pieces on first time, Rubber Ball. General Breyer, Go Dante, who's won this race for the last couple of years. And a lot of other horses that are pretty much exposed, really. I think Top Jimmy at a price is probably a little bit interesting, stepping into sort of open company for the first time. It's an interesting angle there, maybe, for Top Jimmy and Nigel Twiston Davies. Normally, they over-race their horses. They haven't over-raced this one too much. So find that quite interesting. But I'm with last year's second. Last year's second, Reckless Eric, he should have won this. He was caught in a pocket on the rail at the wrong time, and Keelan Woods just couldn't get out of his position. Once he did get the gap, he did fly home. And I actually think he's been running much better than the bare result the last twice. He finished 6th at Newbury. But the way that race was run with Tutti Quanti out in front, there is no chance whatsoever that this horse could have come from off the pace as far back as he was held up to get anywhere near the leader. But he still finished 6th. Like, I thought that was a good effort. He also came wide, probably on the worst of the ground as well, down the home straight. I thought that was a run that just signalled. I don't think they were overly hard on him either. I thought that was a run that just signalled that he might be being teed up for this. The time before at Kempton was definitely an eye-catching run. He was tucked in behind horses as he's made swift headway, and then he was never asked for a maximum effort by Keelan Woods there. That was his return to good ground. That was his sort of return to a right-handed track as well. I don't think ground's that important to him. The cheek pieces go on him. We know he's gone very well here last year. And I just think he's lower. Well, he's lowering the weights this time. I just think there's so much to like about him. I think he's got so much going for him in this race that he's got to go close. Surely he's got to go close. Looking at the rest, there's not anything else I really fancy. Like I say, Top Jimmy could go well at a price, but I mean, the Noel Mead horse, I suppose, is interesting coming over here. I just cannot get away from Reckless Eric. Look, Mondo Man is in there, and a lot of people will like this horse. He'll be very popular. He's a horse that has got a high rating on the flat. He's shown enough over hurdles to think he can still progress. Problem is just you're going to know your fate with this horse probably inside the first 3 furlongs, because if he settles, he should go well. Maybe they'll go from the front with him and change tactics like they did at Plumpton last time. He seemed to settle a bit better there, but he was 1-7 on. Tricky little race, but I think Reckless Eric is a fair price, and I'd be very surprised if he actually didn't go off favourite for this, to be honest, because I think he's got everything in his favour to go off favourite for it. So we'll see what happens. But I do like Reckless Eric in that Imperial Cup. My nap of the entire day comes later on the card in the 4:10. If you want that, come over to the Patreon page. Thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful weekend, right? Enjoy the build-up to Cheltenham. It comes once a year. Everyone loves to argue about horses and get on each other's back and all that sort of stuff, but it comes once a year. We've got to enjoy this time, right? Got to enjoy the build-up to the Cheltenham Festival 2026. So, the only other thing to say is be lucky, and I will see you on the other side. Be lucky.